Sheinelle Jones was a beacon of warmth on the Today Show, her smile a morning ritual for millions. Her laughter danced through the airwaves, a melody of optimism that greeted viewers as they sipped their coffee. By December 2024, she'd become a household name, her vibrant energy a staple alongside Hoda Kotb, Savannah Guthrie, and Dylan Dreyer. Off camera, Sheinelle's life was just as full, her husband, Marcus, a steady presence, and their 3 kids, the heart of her world. Their home in New York buzzed with love, chaos, and the kind of joy only a tight-knit family could muster. But life has a way of throwing curveballs. It started with Marcus's headaches, subtle at first, dismissed as stress from his demanding job in tech. He'd always been the rock, the one who'd tease Sheinelle about her endless to-do lists while quietly making sure the kids' lunches were packed. When the headaches turned to dizzy spells, Sheinelle insisted on a doctor's visit. The diagnosis hit like a freight train: glioblastoma, an aggressive brain cancer. The words felt foreign, like they belonged to someone else's story. Sheinelle sat in the sterile office, holding Marcus's hand, her mind racing. How do you anchor a family when the ground beneath you cracks? Sheinelle didn't hesitate. She told the Today Show team she needed time away. The producers, her second family, didn't flinch. "Take all the time you need," they said, their voices thick with empathy. Dylan Dreyer, her closest confidant on set, hugged her tightly, promising to keep the morning show's spirit alive until she returned. Sheinelle's last broadcast before her leave was December 10th, 2024. She smiled through it, her professionalism a shield, but those who knew her saw the weight in her eyes. Viewers noticed, too, flooding X with messages of concern and support. Back home, Sheinelle dove into research, clinical trials, specialists, second opinions. Marcus, ever the optimist, tried to keep things light. "You're gonna make me the best-dressed patient in chemo," he'd joke, pointing to the colorful scarves she'd bought to cover his head after hair loss. Their kids, Kayan, Clara, and Uche, didn't fully grasp the gravity, but they felt the shift. Sheinelle became their anchor, explaining Daddy's big "oh-we" with a calm she didn't feel. Nights were the hardest, when the house was quiet and fear crept in. She'd lie awake, Marcus's steady breathing beside her, wondering how to carry the weight of it all. The Today Show family didn't let her feel alone. Dylan sent daily texts, funny memes, photos of her own kids, or just a simple "thinking of you." Hoda called weekly, her voice a soothing balm, sharing stories of resilience from her own life. Savannah dropped off casseroles, insisting it was no big deal, though Sheinelle knew she'd spend hours cooking. The team's support was a lifeline, a reminder that even in her absence, she was part of something bigger. As winter settled over New York, Sheinelle faced the unknown, her heart tethered to Marcus and the hope of better days. Part 2. The Fight and the Family. Marcus's treatment began with a blur of appointments: radiation, chemo, scans. Sheinelle became his advocate, his cheerleader, his nurse. She learned medical jargon, questioned doctors, and tracked side effects with a precision that rivaled her broadcast prep. Marcus, once the family's problem solver, leaned on her in ways he never had. It was a role reversal neither expected, but love made it seamless. They'd sit in the chemo suite, Marcus hooked 2 and 4, Sheinelle reading him articles or playing his favorite jazz to drown out the hospital's hum. The kids adapted in their own way. Kayan, the oldest, took on extra chores, his quiet strength a mirror of his dad's. Clara asked endless questions, her curiosity a mix of innocence and fear. Uche, the youngest, clung to Sheinelle, sensing the tension without words. Sheinelle crafted routines to keep them grounded: pizza nights, homework marathons, bedtime stories. She wanted their world to feel normal, even as hers tilted. Marcus, despite his fatigue, insisted on game nights, his laughter weaker but still infectious. The Today Show team became their extended family. Dylan organized a meal train, ensuring Sheinelle didn't have to cook for weeks. Al Roker sent care packages, books for the kids, cozy blankets, snacks Marcus could stomach. Craig Melvin dropped by with his guitar, playing silly songs that made the kids giggle. The support wasn't just practical, it was emotional armor. When Sheinelle felt overwhelmed, Dylan's texts reminded her to breathe. "You're the strongest person I know, but it's okay to lean on us." Sheinelle saved every message, a digital scrapbook of love. Social media buzzed with speculation about Sheinelle's absence. Fans posted on X, sharing prayers and theories. The Today Show addressed it briefly on air, with Dylan delivering a heartfelt message. Sheinelle's taking care of family, and we're holding her close until she's back. The outpouring from viewers was overwhelming. Letters, emails, even handmade cards from kids. Sheinelle read them to Marcus, her voice cracking as strangers' kindness stitched them closer. But cancer doesn't pause for love or support. Marcus's scans showed mixed results. Some tumors shrank, others held stubborn ground. The doctors adjusted treatments, but side effects hit harder. Nausea, memory lapses, moments when Marcus seemed distant. Sheinelle hid her tears, smiling for him, for the kids, for the world. In rare quiet moments, she'd journal, pouring out her fears. Would Marcus see Clara's graduation? Would Uche remember his dad's voice? The questions haunted her, but she clung to hope, to faith, to the man she loved. Part 3. The Weight of Waiting. Spring 2025 brought fragile hope. Marcus had good days, moments when he'd dance with Clara in the living room or help Cain with math. But bad days followed, when he'd sleep for hours, his energy sapped. Sheinelle lived in the in-between, balancing hope and dread. She'd sit by his bedside, reading viewer letters or sharing stories from their early days. How Marcus proposed on a rainy rooftop, how they laughed through their first parenting fails. These memories were her anchor, keeping her tethered to the man he was. The Today Show team kept her tethered to her other world. Dylan visited often, bringing her son Calvin to play with Sheinelle's kids. Over coffee, Dylan shared her own struggles, her son's health scares, the juggle of motherhood and career. "We're in this together," she'd say, her eyes fierce with loyalty. Hoda invited Sheinelle to virtual team meetings, not to work, but to feel included. "You're still our spark," Hoda said, and Sheinelle cried, missing the studio's chaos. The team planned a surprise. A video montage of colleagues and fans sending love aired on the show. Marcus watched it, tears in his eyes, squeezing Sheinelle's hand. The financial strain grew. Treatment costs piled up, even with insurance. Sheinelle tapped savings, cut expenses, and quietly sold a few cherished items. Marcus hated it, feeling like a burden, but she'd kiss his forehead and say, "We're in this together, babe." Friends stepped in. Savannah connected Sheinelle with a financial advisor, and Al organized a discreet fundraiser among NBC staff. The generosity humbled Sheinelle, reminding her that vulnerability wasn't weakness. Publicly, Sheinelle stayed silent, but the Today Show's updates kept fans informed. Dylan's on-air words in March 2025 struck a chord. "Sheinelle's fighting a tough battle with her family, and we're here, ready to welcome her back when she's ready." X posts exploded with hashtags like #WeLoveSheinelle, fans sharing stories of how her warmth had touched them. Sheinelle read them late at night, grateful for a community she'd never met. By summer, Marcus's condition worsened. A new tumor appeared, inoperable. The doctors spoke of quality of life, words that cut like knives. Sheinelle refused to give up, researching experimental treatments, praying for miracles. Marcus, sensing her strain, pulled her close one night. "You've given me everything," he said. "Let's make every day count." They did. Park picnics, movie marathons, quiet moments of love. Sheinelle held on to every second, knowing time was slipping. Part 4. The Final Days. August 2025 brought a cruel clarity. Marcus's strength faded. He slept more, spoke less. Sheinelle moved his bed to the living room, where sunlight streamed in and surrounded him with photos, kids' drawings, and his favorite jazz records. The kids spent hours with him, Cain reading sports stats, Clara singing, Uche curling up beside him. Sheinelle orchestrated it all, her heart breaking but her resolve ironclad. She wanted Marcus to feel loved every moment. The Today Show team rallied closer. Dylan came weekly, bringing homemade cookies and stories to make Marcus smile. Hoda sent voice memos, her faith-filled words of comfort. Savannah and Craig organized a private vigil, the team gathering virtually to pray and share memories. When Sheinelle couldn't leave Marcus's side, they sent a care package, blankets, candles, a note saying, "We're holding you up." Dylan's on-air update in August was raw. "Sheinelle's our sister, and we're ready to wrap our arms around her when she's ready to come back." Viewers wept, posting tributes on X. Marcus passed on August 15th, 2025, surrounded by family. Sheinelle held his hand, whispering love, as the kids said their goodbyes. The house felt hollow, the silence deafening. Sheinelle didn't cry at first. She organized the funeral, comforted the kids, thanked friends. But alone, grief crashed in. She'd lost her partner, her best friend. The Today team gave her space, but Dylan checked in daily, her texts a lifeline. You don't have to be strong yet. Just be. The funeral was intimate, filled with love and music Marcus adored. The Today crew attended, their presence a quiet strength. Dylan spoke, her voice trembling, about Sheinelle's courage and Marcus's light. Fans sent flowers, cards, messages on X, their support a wave of kindness. Sheinelle felt it, even through her fog of grief. She began to journal again, writing to Marcus, promises to keep his love alive for their kids, to find her way back to herself. Weeks passed, and Sheinelle faced a new reality. The kids needed her, but so did her own heart. She started therapy, joined a support group, leaned on faith. The Today team never pushed, but their door was open. Dylan's words echoed, "We're here when you're ready." Sheinelle wasn't sure when that would be, but she felt a flicker of hope, a promise to Marcus to live fully, for him, for their kids, for herself. Part 5, The Road Back. Fall 2025 found Sheinelle in a delicate dance with grief. Some days, she'd laugh with the kids, feeling Marcus in their smiles. Others, she'd crumble, missing his voice. She kept his memory alive, telling stories, cooking his favorite recipes, playing his jazz. The kids found their own ways to heal. Kayan joined a basketball team Marcus had coached. Clara wrote songs. Uche drew pictures of Daddy's star in the sky. Sheinelle marveled at their resilience, drawing strength from it. The Today Show remained her anchor. Dylan's updates on air kept Sheinelle connected, each one a reminder of her place. In September, Dylan shared, "Sheinelle's taking it day by day, and we can't wait to have her light back." Fans responded with love, their ex-posts a chorus of encouragement. Sheinelle watched clips of the show, missing the energy, the camaraderie. She wasn't ready to return, but the thought warmed her. She started small steps back to herself. She volunteered at a cancer support group, sharing her story, finding purpose in helping others. She took the kids to the Today studio one quiet Saturday, letting them see Mommy's work. Dylan and Hoda were there, hugging them, showing Uche the weather map. It felt like home, a bridge between her past and future. Sheinelle began to imagine returning, not as the same Sheinelle, but one shaped by love and loss. In October, she met with the producers. No rush, they said, but Sheinelle felt a pull. She wanted to honor Marcus by living boldly, as he'd always urged. She planned a return for November, a guest spot to test the waters. Dylan helped her prep, their late-night calls full of laughter and tears. "You're gonna shine," Dylan said. Sheinelle wasn't sure, but she trusted the love around her. On November 10th, 2025, Sheinelle stepped onto the Today set. The audience roared. Her co-hosts teared up. Dylan hugged her longest, whispering, "We've got you." Sheinelle shared her story briefly, her voice steady but raw, thanking viewers, her team, Marcus. The moment wasn't just a return, it was a rebirth. She'd carry her grief, but also Marcus's love, the kids' strength, and the Today family's embrace. As the cameras rolled, Sheinelle smiled, her light flickering back, ready to anchor again.